I've just had an amazing idea. My sound is usually lapel microphone into little Rode wireless device. I have to have that because this is such a noisy room. So I've got loads of shotgun mics. I can never get this close enough to my face because I need to get a wire going to the camera. Genius idea, it's attaching the wireless device to the shotgun microphone and boom it just above my head. To get that just off frame. And I can unplug this. That is brilliant. Right, let's do the intro. Welcome back to Bark and Jack. I'm Adrian and today is going to be another Q&A video. These questions are from YouTube and I'm going to be reading probably the top 10 questions, and they've kind of already ranked themselves with regards to popularity or most liked questions. So that's how I'm going to work through this stuff. If you want to support the channel and get involved next time, just hit that subscribe button down the bottom. You can only ask a question if you're a subscriber because it goes out on a community post and you can only see the community post if you're a subscriber. So you need to subscribe. Also, if you're into watch straps or you want to have an easy present for Christmas, jump over to barkandjack.shop and check out our straps. We have leather straps and NATO straps over there. So let's get into the questions. And the first one is from Chris Bannister. And he's asked, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? What do you mean, a European or African swallow? Rohit Seth, purely based on quality, disregarding the brand and resale values, which would you pick? Divers 65 or Christopher Ward C65 Trident Diver with the 150 meter water distance? I'd go with the Divers 65. I don't think it's any more of a watch than the Christopher Ward. In fact, I'd say they're pretty much on par quality wise. I think just from a design point of view, the Divers 65 is just more of a solid unit. I just feel that the design flows a bit better. No, I just feel it's more me, Divers 65. But both watches are great, and I think either one you're going to be happy with. Eric Stronghold, what time is it? It is 6:41. Mark P, top tips for taking photos of watches for Instagram, etc. without the use of professional equipment, just using an iPhone, for example. I'd say it's all about lighting and composition, and you could do a whole video on this stuff. I might do a whole video on this stuff. I don't have the best Instagram account, but I can be critical on what people do. And it's simple things like make sure your photograph is in focus. People post photographs of out of focus watches, and that's just it's pointless because you've just missed the whole thing. It's not as if it's a moving object. Just hold your hand still and hold your camera still and job done. So make sure it's in focus, make sure you've got good lighting and the lighting is going where you want it to be. Make sure you're lighting up the part of the watch that you want to light up and not just lighting up. Make sure your arm isn't overexposed, for example, because it's drawing your attention away from the actual subject, which is quite often the watch itself. And think about the whole composition. Think about everything that's in the background, for example. Even if it's out of focus, are the colours that it's creating, are they in line with what you want the whole picture to be? A lot of people just post photographs of a watch, and that's fine if they're just documenting what watch they're wearing. But there's so many accounts on Instagram that if you actually want to have an account that grows, and you do need to think about the bigger picture or the actual picture. Don't just document the watch you're wearing, purposely capture everything else that's in the image. If you're trying to document the outfit that you're wearing, then have it at an angle and a composition that allows you to capture the outfit. And also if you're doing things like flat lays and stuff like that, really think about what else is going on. How can I make this an interesting picture as opposed to just another account that's documenting a watch? Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Tim K, why do you own a Polaris or any other watch from JLC? Because it seems that you are a fan of the brand. I'm a massive fan of JLC, and I can absolutely see myself owning something like a Polaris. We'll actually have a video. I'm allowed to say it. I must be allowed to say it. The watch is out. There's a video dropping on the 15th of the new limited edition Polaris. And I've been talking with JLC quite a bit actually. So there's going to be lots of JLC content coming. The reason I don't own a Polaris or any other JLC is simply money is limited. That's pretty much it. Polar Bear, what is your next purchase on your radar? I've actually just bought a car and recently moved to Scotland, so and I'm really trying to drive the business, so I don't think there's going to be purchase anytime soon. But things that are on my radar and things that have a real drive to want are the Tudor Black Bay 58. I think it's an amazing watch, and I'm quite annoyed that I haven't bought one yet. I really, really want to get a Polar Explorer again. A Rolex Explorer II, and there's something about the Vacheron Constantin overseas that I have a real draw towards. I like the fact it's the underdog within that cluster of sports watches, and I think it's a fantastic looking watch. It's an incredibly well made watch, and it's bizarre that it doesn't get as much attention. Well, it makes complete sense because it's not within the pop culture as is the Nautilus and the Royal Oak. But so Black Bay 58, Polar Dial Explorer II, and a Vacheron Constantin Overseas. I really like the travel time with the rubber strap. I think that is amazing. But none of them are going to be purchased because I have no money left. It's Fust. Can you still buy a sports Rolex from an AD since you classical flipped your Batman? I didn't flip the Batman. It seems to be an ongoing thing. I bought the Batman and my situation changed. It's simple as that. And absolutely, yes, when I haven't got my Submariner with me. When I was in the market for another watch and ended up buying the 14060M, I was offered a double 14060. At the time, I just didn't really like the watch. Annoyingly, at the time, I didn't like the watch, but I keep seeing it about, and I really like the double 14060. For so long, I've bitched about how the lugs just look weird, but actually, I've grown to quite like. No, I don't like the lugs. I just like the overall feel of the watch. It's a very, very well made watch. But to answer your question, absolutely, yeah, I can still buy steel sports Rolexes. I bought a watch and I sold it. It's no big deal. Michael Nutt, do you think Rolex and Tudor are working together to push the Tudor brand into a slot that Rolex are vacating due to lack of availability, as some Tudor models now have their own waiting list? Yes, I think the wait list for Tudor is more genuine than the wait list for Rolexes. That the wait list for Rolex, that it's a weird one because there is a wait list, or some ADs do have a list of people who want an item, but their safes have the products in them. More often than not, a Submariner Explorer, they are in the safe, but it's just whether or not they want you to have it. They want to give those watches to the customers who have been and bought lots of watches for them. I kind of feel like the wait list for Tudor is a bit more genuine. I'm not sure if they are as scarce as what people make out. When I put my name down for a Tudor Pepsi GMT, this is a good year or so ago, I had about 4 ADs call me back within a week, so that these things are about. But to focus on the first part of your question around are Rolex and Tudor pushing the Tudor brand where Rolex isn't, that's absolutely the case. Nearly every single watch brand has their commercial section, and then they have their kind of more genuine section. For example, Montblanc, they have ETA Solita powered watches, and then they have their Minerva movements. You have IWC, who also have their ETA Solita powered watches, and then they have their more in-house watches. All of these brands have this commercial section of their offering that will be the moneymaker. With Rolex, they don't really have that. They do have there is a hierarchy within Rolex watches, and I guess the OP range is Rolex's more commercial line. But actually, the more accessible and the big sellers are Tudor. And so Rolex was smart and they separated the brands. Seiko kind of tried to do it with Seiko and Grand Seiko, but they didn't do it very well. But yes, Rolex are pushing Tudor to be the accessible both from a price point and from an availability point of view. And then Rolex can kind of do their own thing and just be their own little waitlisted area. And Tudor is going to be the big commercial offering. Which is funny because Tudor are actually making some incredibly good looking watches, and no doubt that is taking away from some of the sales from Rolex. Although Rolex are still sold out, so it doesn't really matter. But guys, thanks so much for asking your questions. If you want to get involved next time, just hit the subscribe button down the bottom and look out for the community post. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Jump over to barkandjack.com if you want to check out articles and previous videos. Jump over to barkandjack.shop if you want to check out our straps. And if you're on Instagram, check us out at barkandjack. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.